I will be reading from the Jerusalem Bible. Numbers chapter 16. The rebellion of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Korah, son of Ishar, son of Kohath, son of Levi, took Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and On, son of Peleth. Eliab and Peleth were sons of Reuben, rebelled against Moses, together with 250 of the sons of Israel, leaders of the community, prominent in the solemn feast, men of repute. These joined forces against Moses and Aaron, saying to them, "You take too much on yourselves. The whole community and all its members are consecrated, and Yahweh lives among them. Why set yourselves higher than the community of Yahweh?" Moses, when he heard this, threw himself face downward on the ground. Then he said to Korah and all his followers, "Tomorrow morning Yahweh will reveal who is his, who is the consecrated man that he will allow to come near him. The one he allows to come near is the one whom he has chosen. This is what you are to do. Take the censers of Korah and all his followers, fill them with fire, and tomorrow put incense in them before Yahweh. Yahweh will choose the one who is the consecrated man. Sons of Levi, you take too much on yourselves." Moses said to Korah, "Listen to me now, you sons of Levi. Is it not enough for you that the God of Israel has singled you out from the community of Israel and called you close to himself for service in the tabernacle of Yahweh, to stand before this community and perform the sacred rites on their behalf? He has called you to be near him, you and all your brother Levites with you, and now you aspire to the office of priesthood as well. Against Yahweh himself you have joined forces, you and your followers. For what is Aaron that you should complain against him?" Moses summoned Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab. They replied, "We will not come. Was it not enough to take us from a land where milk and honey flow, to die in this wilderness, without seeking to lord it over us now? There is no land flowing with milk and honey that you have brought us to, nor have you given us fields and vineyards for our inheritance. Do you expect this people to be blind? We will not come." Moses flew into a rage and said to Yahweh, "Pay no heed to their offering. I have not taken so much as a donkey from them, nor have I harmed any of them." The punishment. Moses said to Korah, "You and all your followers, come tomorrow into the presence of Yahweh, you and they, and Aaron too. Let every man bring his censer, put incense in it, and carry his censer before Yahweh, 250 censers. You and Aaron also, each of you bring his censer." So every man took his censer, filled it with fire, and put incense in it. And they stood at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and Moses and Aaron with them. Then, when Korah had assembled the whole community to confront these two at the entrance to the tent of meeting, the glory of Yahweh appeared to the whole community. Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron. He said, "Stand apart from this assembly. I am going to destroy them here and now." They threw themselves face downward on the ground and cried out, "O God, God of the spirits that give life to every living thing, will you be angry with the whole community for one man's sin?" Yahweh answered Moses and said, "Say this to the community, stand clear of the dwelling of Korah." Moses stood up and went to Dathan, and Abraham, the elders of Israel, followed him. He said to the community, "Stand away, I beg you, from the tents of these perverse men, and touch nothing that belongs to them, for fear that with all their sins you too will be swept away." So they moved away from the dwelling of Korah. Dathan and Abiram had come out and were standing at their tent doors with their wives and their sons and their young children. Moses says, "By this you will know that Yahweh himself has sent me to perform all these tasks, and that this is not my doing. If these people die a natural death, such as men commonly die, then Yahweh has not sent me. But if Yahweh does something utterly new, if the earth should open its mouth and swallow them, themselves and all that belongs to them, so that they go down alive to Sheol, then you will know that these men have rejected Yahweh." The moment he finished speaking, saying all these words, the ground split open under their feet. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed them, their families too, and all Korah's men and all their belongings. They went down alive to Sheol, they and all their possessions. The earth closed over them, and they disappeared from the midst of the assembly. At their cries, all the Israelites around them ran away, for they said, "The earth must not swallow us." A fire came down from Yahweh and consumed the 250 men carrying incense. Amen. Jerusalem Bible, Numbers chapter 17, the censers. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, "Tell Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, to pick the censers out of these ashes and take this unlawful fire elsewhere. For these sinful censers are sanctified at the price of these men's lives. Since they have been brought before Yahweh and consecrated, let the metal be hammered into sheets to cover the altar. They will be an object lesson to the sons of Israel." Eleazar the priest took the bronze censers which had been carried by the men who were destroyed by the fire. They were hammered into sheets to cover the altar. They are a reminder to the sons of Israel that no layman, no one outside Aaron's line, may come near Yahweh with incense to burn, under pain of suffering the lot of Korah and his followers, according to the order given by Yahweh through Moses. Aaron intercedes. On the following day, the entire community of the sons of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron, saying, "You have brought death to the people of Yahweh." As the community was banding together against Moses and Aaron, these turned towards the tent of meeting, and there was the cloud covering it, and the glory of Yahweh appeared. And Moses and Aaron went to the door of the tent of meeting. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, "Stand clear of this community. I am going to destroy them here and now." They threw themselves face downward on the ground. Then Moses said to Aaron, "Take the censer, fill it with fire from the altar, put incense in it, and hurry to the community to perform the rite of atonement over them. The wrath has come down from Yahweh, and the plague has begun." Aaron did as Moses said and ran among the assembly, but the plague was already at work among them. He put in the incense and performed the rite of atonement over the people. Then he stood between the living and the dead, and the plague stopped. There were 14,700 victims of that plague, not counting those who died because of Korah. Then Aaron came back to Moses at the tent of meeting. The plague had been halted. Aaron's branch. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, Tell the sons of Israel to give you a branch, one for each patriarchal family. Let their leaders together give you 12 branches for the patriarchal families. Write the name of each on his branch, and on the branch of Levi, write the name of Aaron, because the leader of the families of Levi must have a branch too. Then put them in the tent of meeting before the testimony, the place where I meet you. The man whose branch sprouts will be the one I have chosen. This is how I shall put an end to the complaints that the sons of Israel make against you. Moses spoke to the sons of Israel, and all their leaders gave him one branch each, 12 branches in all for their patriarchal families. Aaron's branch was among them. Moses placed them before Yahweh in the tent of the testimony. On the following day, Moses came to the tent of the testimony, and there already sprouting was Aaron's branch, standing for the house of Levi. Buds had opened, flowers had blossomed, and almonds had already ripened. Moses took all the branches away from before Yahweh and brought them back to all the sons of Israel. They examined them, and each one took back his own branch. Then Yahweh said to Moses, "Put back Aaron's branch before the testimony, where it will have its prescribed place, a sign to these rebels. It will stop them complaining to me anymore, and they will not die." Moses did as Yahweh had ordered. That is what he did. Atonement, the function of the priesthood. The sons of Israel said to Moses, "We are lost. We are dead men. We are all dead men. Anyone who goes near the tabernacle of Yahweh with an offering will die. Are we to be doomed to the last man?" Amen. The Jerusalem Bible, Numbers chapter 18. Then Yahweh said to Aaron, "You and your sons and your whole family shall bear the burden of transgressions against the sanctuary. You and your sons with you shall bear the burden of the transgressions of your priesthood. Let your brothers of the branch of Levi, your father's tribe, come with you too. They are to join you and serve you, yourselves and your sons, before the tent of the testimony. They are to be at your service and the service of the whole tent. Provided they do not come near the sacred vessels or the altar, they will be in no more danger of death than you. They are to join you. They are to take charge of the tent of meeting for the entire ministry of the tent. And no layman shall come near you. You must take charge of the sanctuary and charge of the altar, and the wrath will never again fall on the sons of Israel. I myself have chosen your brothers, the Levites, from among the sons of Israel as a gift to you, as oblatists. They will belong to Yahweh to serve at the tent of meetings. You and your sons will undertake the priestly duties and all that concerns the altar and all that lies behind the veil. You will perform the liturgy, the duties of which I entrust to your priesthood, but the layman who comes near shall die. The priest's portion. Yahweh said to Aaron, I myself have given you charge of all that is set aside for me. Everything that the sons of Israel consecrate, I give to you as your portion, as well as to your sons by perpetual ordinance. This is what shall be yours of the most holy things, of the consecrated food, every offering that the sons of Israel give back to me, whether it be an oblation or a sacrifice for sin or a sacrifice of reparation, is a thing most holy. It shall belong to you and your sons. You may not eat these most holy things. Every male may eat them. You are to count them sacred. To you also shall belong whatever is set aside from the offerings of the sons of Israel, to be held out with the gesture of offering. This I give to you, as well as to your sons and daughters, by perpetual ordinance. Every undefiled person in your house may eat it. All the best of the oil, all the best of the wine and wheat, the first fruits made over by them to Yahweh, these I give to you. All the first produce of their land, which they bring to Yahweh, shall be yours. Every undefiled person in your house may eat them. All in Israel on which the ban is laid shall be yours. Every firstborn brought to Yahweh shall be yours. Of all living creatures, whether man or beast, nevertheless, you must redeem the firstborn of man, and you must redeem the firstborn of an unclean beast. You must redeem it in the month in which it is born, at the price of 5 shekels, each of sanctuary weight, which is 20 gerahs. The firstborn of cow, sheep, and goat. These alone you shall not redeem. They are holy. You must sprinkle their blood on the altar and burn the fat as a burnt offering, an appeasing fragrance for Yahweh. The meat shall be yours, together with the breast that has been presented with the gesture of offering, and the right thigh. All that the sons of Israel set aside for Yahweh from the holy things, this I give to you and to your sons and daughters by perpetual ordinance. This is a covenant of salt forever before Yahweh, for you and your descendants after you. The Levites' portion. Yahweh said to Aaron, you shall have no inheritance in their land. No portion of it among them shall be yours. It is I who will be your portion and your inheritance among the sons of Israel. See to the sons of Levi, I give as their inheritance all the tithes collected in Israel in return for their services, for the ministry they render in the tent of meeting. The sons of Israel must no longer go near the tent of meeting. They would be burdened with sin and die. To Levi belongs the ministry of the tent of meeting, and the Levites will bear the burden of their sin. This is a perpetual law for all your descendants, and Levites are to have no inheritance among the sons of Israel. The tithe that the sons of Israel set aside for Yahweh, I give the Levites for their inheritance. For this reason I have told them that they are to have no inheritance among the sons of Israel. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, you are to say to the Levites, when you receive the tithe from the sons of Israel, which they must pay you, and which I am giving you as your inheritance, out of this you are to set aside a portion for Yahweh, a tithe of the tithe. This is to take the place of the portion set aside that is due from you, like the corn from the threshing floor and new wine from the press. Thus you too will set aside a portion for Yahweh. Of all the tithes you receive from the sons of Israel, you will give what you have set aside for Yahweh to Aaron the priest. Out of all the gifts you receive, you will set aside a portion for Yahweh. From the best of all these things, you will set aside the sacred portion. You are to say to them, after you have set aside the best, all these gifts shall, for the Levites, take the place of the produce of the threshing floor and of the wine press. You may consume them anywhere, you and your people. This is your payment for serving in the tent of meeting. You will not incur the burden of any sin on this account. Once you have set aside the best, you will not be profaning the things consecrated by the sons of Israel, and you will not die. Amen.